Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Now, we are joined by a few people. I'm about to set up for the live show, which will go in about 15 minutes' time. But in the meantime, while I get myself a coffee and set up, I will leave you with the dulcet tones of whoever is in the panel.
Basically tells us that you've got to manipulate your independent variable and a few other bits and pieces. And they're removing them off the internet. They're stopping us from using them.
That's crazy. Send it to me, Riley, and I'll look at it on my end.
Are you on a phone or are you on a thingy?
I'm on a Chromebook.
So if I put it in the Google chat, if I put it in here, can you see that in the side chat in Google?
I can. Here. Mine says redirecting.
Yeah, redirected, and it should eventually time you out.
Here, I'll pull up the. Have you heard of the Wayback Machine?
Yeah, I've got it on Wayback. I can see it on Wayback, but I can't see it when I click the link.
There, I got it up on the screen. Go ahead.
It says to me, the site cannot be reached. Checking the connection, checking the proxy and the firewall, running Windows diagnostics may fix this, but it times out for me as if it's disconnected.
Is it only happening? I wonder if I could change. I've got a VPN on my Chromebook. I could change the country and see if that would resolve it. Let's see. I don't know if it'll.
Yeah.
I don't know if my VPN will kick me off. Let me see.
And I'm testing it on Edge rather than Chrome to see if it's something to do with Chrome.
Oh, actually, I don't got a VPN on. Let me turn my VPN on and see what happens.
Why do you use a VPN?
Let's see. Try it again. Is this like the only one, or is there multiple ones that you're running into?
Just one. They're all the same link.
I wonder if they just removed it. Maybe they just took it down.
It's possible, but what's the chances of it? It's been up for fucking years and they've never touched it, but now they've took it down. I'm gonna have to contact them and ask them why have they took it down. I want to know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Actually, could you do it for me, Paul? Would you be able to ring that Rochester? They're going to be open now, aren't they, for you?
Yeah. Just send me the number and I can give them a call about it, or.
Yeah, just ask. Could you speak to somebody in IT in the IT department, and they'll say, "What's the complaint?" Just say, "I've got a broken link." Just say it was working the other day. It's not working now. I'd like to read it, but the link's broke. Can you tell me for why?
Okay, now Rochester. Is that here in the U.S.? I know somebody sounds stupid. Is it in the U.S. or is it in the U.K.?
It's in the U.S.
Okay, yeah. Drop me the phone number, and I'll try and see what happens. I'll put it on mute and then call you back, or jump back on you.
I get it now. Rochester, University of Rochester. I don't even know where Rochester is. Never heard of it.
I think it's New York, actually. Rochester, New York. It's probably up there, more likely.
So the IT department in Rochester. Email, web service. See if we can get a phone number for them. Here we go. IT help. 585.
Oh, I wasn't ready to write. I thought you were going to just put it in the chat. So.
Oh, I can do that if you want.
Yeah. Wasn't ready. I was on the Chromebook. Just drop it in and I'll call them.
So you've got the link, and basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to establish why is it not working anymore. Has it been switched off manually, and if so, can you put it back on? And if it's not been switched off manually, what is the reason for it to be removed? Has there been any complaints about it recently? That's what you want to ask.
Okay. Clicked on the debug thing. Of course, I'm not a coding guy. We knew somebody to do coding. This pops up. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have no. This is all gobbledygook to me. So.
Paul, I know this sounds cheeky, and forgive me. I don't mean to sound cheeky, but I'm too excited. Any chance you could ring them now and just ask them?
No, I was going to. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I'm just sitting here cooking dinner or breakfast. It won't take but 2 seconds to see if I can get through. So I'll put you on mute so I can talk to them.
Cool.
So you're starting an awful lot of activity this early in the morning, Mr. Bradley.
What time is it for you locally? Is it 9?
No, I'm messing with your head. I'm saying usually around this time everybody's laid back, and then you come on all hyper.
Yeah, it's midday for us here, though, isn't it? It's like 1:45 for us, so I'm thinking you're about between 8 and 10.
Yeah, it's 8:45 where I'm at. So
yeah, give it 15 minutes, Paul. They're not going to answer you, are they? Oh no, maybe they will. Fuck it, I'm going to ring them myself. See if I can get through. What's the number? 01 585 275 2000. I'm going to record this as well. Just mute up, guys, for a sec. Oh no, that didn't work. What's the international dialing code for America? Is it 001?
I don't know. I don't know to make that call. I'll look it up for you.
See if this works.
It just says +1.
The IT service desk. Press 1 if you are a student. Press 2 if you need computer or network support. Press 3 if you need telecommunications, voicemail, or cellular support.
Shit. Let's try 3.
Please hold. Your call is being transferred. Thank you for calling the University IT Service Desk. This is Bar. May I get your first and last name, please?
Yeah, it's Tony Riley.
All right. I know your name is simple, but could you spell your last name for me?
Sure, it's Romeo, India, Lima, Echo, Yankee.
Okay. It's still not come. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm not a student.
Okay. We still have a directory, but...
Don't worry, you'll not see me on the directory. I'm phoning from overseas. I'm phoning from the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay. So what can I do for you?
I'm trying to get in touch with the webmaster that would be responsible for the university web pages. You know, the actual homepage for the university.
Well, this is the IT service desk, so I have no clue.
IT service desk. What it is, I have a broken link that I use the university website as a citation in debate regularly. The link's broken now. It seems to have been switched off very recently. I was ringing to see if it's possible to find out, has it been turned off for a reason? Has there been any complaints about it for some reason it's been removed? And if not, can we have it reinstated? Because I use your university website as a citation in debate frequently, but the link no longer works. And I was just trying to establish if I could get it reinstated so that I could use it, because it's a particularly strong link for something that I use in debate. Just wondering if you might be able to point me in the right direction of the person I need to speak to for a broken link.
Okay, and what link are you trying to use?
Well, I don't know how best I can get the link to you. Perhaps I could email it to you?
Well, what do you, I mean, can't you just type in the University of Rochester and bring it up?
Yeah, what I'm saying is the link's failed now. It's to do with the scientific method, and the link doesn't work anymore. if I go into the Wayback Machine, I can see what it's supposed to look like, but the link for the page that I rely on is broke. So I can give you the link if you'd like, but it's just a case of getting the link to you.
Well, I mean, I would start begin by using a new browser and just keying in rochester.edu. And
yeah, I have done. I've tried it in Chrome, Edge. I've tried it over a VPN. It's definitely a broken link. It's not to do with my machine. I've had multiple users trying it across the world from different locations using VPNs, different browsers. It's definitely a broken link. Are you still with me? Hello? Hello? I appear to have been cut off. Are you still with me? How fucking weird. Hello? Okay, I appear to have got cut off there. Let's try getting her back on the line.
Welcome to the University IT Service Desk.
please hold. Your call is being transferred.
Shit. Give me a sec.
University IT, this is Matthew. Can I have a first and last name, please?
Sure, Matthew. My name is Anthony Riley. Romeo India Lima Echo Yankee.
Okay.
I'm not actually a student there. I'm making an overseas call from the UK.
Okay. What's going on?
I need your help. I use a link from your website, your university website, whilst I debate different topics to do with science, and the link's failed. The link seems to have disconnected itself from the page that I used to use. I'm trying to establish, was there a reason why the link's not working anymore? And if there's not, can we have the link reinstated? Because I use one of your citations frequently. And I don't really know who the best person to speak to is. Could you help me with that, please?
Sure. What's the link?
Well, it's long. I can, if I was able to email you, I could send you the link.
Sure.
Oh, go on. Do you want to give us a?
All right. That the email is m at ur.rochester.edu.
Okay, so let me just read that back. Mike Vic at ur.rochester.edu.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Okay, I'll ping that over to you now. Bear with me one sec. I'm just trying to get the link again. Bear with me. With that. Paste. If I send it through Hotmail, will you get it straight away?
Yeah.
And okay, it's sent. So if you give yourself maybe 10 seconds, it should be there with a refresh. So basically what I'd like to know is, was there a reason why the link was severed? And if there's not a reason why it was severed, could it be reinstated? Because I do use it in debate frequently.
Yeah. So like when you try accessing the link, it does not work whatsoever.
It says that it's timed out, and it says on my two browsers that the link's it's timed out, as the link could not be reached, or words to that effect. It just fails. Now I've used it for years, and it works. So I think you guys may have had a restructuring of some kind and turned stuff off, but really I'm beating my drum because I'd like it turning back on if I can, please, and so I can still cite it because it's a good citation.
So here's the odd thing. So I just clicked on the link and I was able to open it.
It might be cached on your browser though, maybe, I don't know, but it definitely doesn't work when I mean, let me just double check it again. I can get other people to check it whilst I'm on the phone with you as well. Just give me 1 sec. Yeah, it's definitely failing with me. Bear with me.
Yeah, take your time.
Let me just ask my guys if they can help me. Just give me 1 sec. Paul, could you just double check that link definitely does fail? Yeah, it's definitely saying this site cannot be reached. Rochester took too long to respond. Try checking my connection, checking my proxy and firewall, running Windows network diagnostics. So it's timing out. But I've got other people that are trying to do it as well from different parts of the world with different browsers, different cache, different like internet connections, and when none of us are getting able to through to it. So I don't know why you're getting it, but we're not. But perhaps it's turned off internally. I don't know.
Yeah, hold on.
But you've got the link. Perhaps you could investigate it for me and try and get the link reinstated if it is turned off.
Not a problem.
And then would you send me a feedback email when you've come to a conclusion, just so that I know that it's working?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Not a problem.
Cheers now. Bye-bye. See if we can get that one reinstated.
Why, out of curiosity, why didn't you just copy the link so that you have it all the time?
I do. I have it in my bookmarks.
No, I'm talking about actually download it so that you don't have to keep going to the link so that you have it on your computer.
Well, because it's a citation, so you want to say this has come from Rochester University. Here it is on their website, as opposed to this has come from Rochester University. Here it is on my hard drive.
No, I think what I'm saying is that instead of clicking on a link, isn't there a way you can click on the link and then save the whole thing and have the exact same link?
I think there might be a way to do that, but again, though, Nathan's point's the reason. If you can just click the link and then, if you make the point and then provide citation for it, and then your opponent can then go and click on the link and go straight to your citation, that's a lot stronger than me having a copy on my hard drive.
I got you.
But at least that guy's now going to look into it, because I use that a lot, that Rochester link.
You know that I gotcha that I just said on Discord, they say that I'm doing the same thing when people tell me I gotcha. Long story, but right.
Live in about 3 minutes.
So you're not doing a pre-show recording this morning?
Yeah, I did. I told you. I started ages ago.
Oh.
I did tell you.
Oh. No, I thought you did, but when you said going live, I thought you meant that we weren't.
I started the pre-show just before Anthony started that phone call and said he was going to record it, so I was like, great.
I'm a little slow, forgive me.
So engrossed in Anthony's phone call that I didn't share the show. So I'm now doing it frantically with very few words. Live now.
Do you remember when they did this with M. Scott Veach's shit, Nathan?
Yeah. Well, you basically baited him into doing it, and then he did do it. Or so it seemed on the surface. I mean, at the time I was like, you've got no evidence to prove that, which is still the case. but it was very coincidental.
Yeah, it was the next day, though. I challenged him to get both the things moved. And the next day, one of them had gone. And the day after that, the other one had gone.
It's incredible, isn't it? Amazing coincidence.
We need to go back and find where that was documented, in which show.
One more share and I'll start live. Might be about a minute late. I'll have to share it on YouTube once the live show is actually running.
I had to jump on a call. Anthony, did they figure it out? Are they going to get back with you or what?
Not really, Paul, just to answer your question. I don't know, Anthony's probably on a phone call also. But no, they just said they'd look into it and get back to him. But they gave him a firm assurance that they'd get back to him, which was quite good.
Yeah, I had to prompt it, though.
Sure, but he still assured you.
Yeah, he said he would call me back, yeah. Email me back.
Right, I think I'm ready.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on Facebook and Twitter. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Slick James Johnson, Sleeping Warrior, and Paul. Good to have you all.
Yo.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Any signs of curvature?
Fuck all. Sorry.
No swearing. Any signs of axial rotation?
Only in pseudoscience.
What about evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth? I always hold out hope for that one.
Only in pseudoscience.
Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without a container for all those who believe in the vacuum of space? Or the sky?
Only in pseudoscience.
A lot of similar answers today. What about the distance to the sun?
Definitely in pseudoscience.
Right, any evidence of the R value?
Only in pseudoscience.
Okay, well, let's start qualifying these. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Definitely none.
Well, that was quick. That concludes the housekeeping. No scientific evidence of any of this stuff then.
Honestly, I've been having a back and forth with Conspiracy Cats on one of my videos, and he will not accept that his version of gas pressure existing next to a vacuum is pseudoscience. He says that I'm simply dismissing it, right? I'm dismissing his explanation. I'm not dismissing it. I'm showing him that it's not actually a credible citation, because you can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum of space. You can't have it. So when I point out that his explanation is pseudoscience, he calls me a science denier, Well, I'm not denying your science. I'm pointing out that your science is flawed scientifically. It does not comply with the scientific method. There is no science for a gas pressure existing within a vacuum without a membrane of some kind, and he will not admit it. And I'm like, you're a teacher. Why would you not accept the science that otherwise works in all the other aspects of gas pressure containment, but for some reason it doesn't work against the Earth? Why would you do that? He's literally, he just won't accept that the criticism against his vision is pseudoscience, is a credible retort. He thinks that I'm a science denier and he won't accept it. So my question to everybody watching is, well, who is it? Which is the wrong person? Is it that I'm denying science, or is it I'm pointing out pseudoscience and pointing out that it's fallacious to accept that that's actually a credible position? Because it clearly is not.
There's a distinct line between explanation and demonstration. So demonstrate gas pressure without a container, and we might accept the explanation that came before the demonstration. But with just an explanation, it's just rhetoric.
Correct.
Morning.
Hey Earth, Flat and Earth, how you doing?
Hey, good, thanks.
Okay.
Hey.
So we had a super chat for $10 yesterday, Anthony, that was asking specifically where you're at with your education stuff. Can you fill us up to date? You haven't been on for weeks.
So the education, I've had a meeting with them, and what they've said to me is you need to get proof of a conditional acceptance with another university, otherwise you're getting kicked off. And I've said you're not going to be able, even if I can't or don't, you're not going to be able to kick me off. I said you've got a contractual agreement to be able to provide the service. I said, so let's just say for now that I don't have one. And what I've done in the meantime is applied for three different university establishments. I did get a conditional acceptance from one of them, but when it came down to it, they couldn't find a suitable teacher. Now, this is valid if you don't take my money off me first, because if you don't, if I submit the information and then you take the money off me, then they're going to be in trouble. But in the current institution's case, they didn't ask me to provide anything to do with the course itself. They just took the money off me. Well, that creates a contractual relationship between scholar and master, and that is actionable in court. So even if I don't find one, they've already accepted that that I can do this course. So I've said to them, well, why don't you proceed on the basis that I do not? In the meantime, I will actually do it. But if I get the conditional acceptance that you seek, then that's not going to look good for you, is it? Why don't you act impartially and do what you think you need to do? And if that means kick me off, then kick me off. So it was the meeting was concluded by saying that get yourself the conditional acceptance from another university, and if you can, then we'll keep you on. If you can't, within a month, then you're going to have to, well, we'll reconsider the position in a month. They didn't say you'll have to go. They just said that we'll reconsider. And the month was up. The month's up tomorrow. I still have the 3 applications in, and they're asking me for different documents to support the application. I'm just literally responding to one of them now. But as it stands, there's nothing changed yet. They're trying to, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what they're doing at the minute, but they've still got to make the decision, and it's going to be in the next week or so. So I guess it's just a case of watch this space.
But potentially they could end up in court with you, right?
Yeah, that's the next thing. If they do kick me off for breaching their agreement with me, it wasn't a prerequisite that I provide any documentation for what I wanted to do beforehand. Now, it was with this one particular institution that I asked for, and consequently the 3 that I've recently applied for, they've also, all of them have asked for a proposal. But that's at doctorate level. So doctorate level is higher than masters. Masters is not that high. It's only just above degree. So maybe there's a different level of formality required for doctorate. But in any event, my current institution didn't ask me to provide any proposal before taking the money. Well, the minute they take the money, that binds both parties to their contractual obligations, and it clearly states in the proposed medium or in the
Yes, hello Jazz, how you doing? Very good to have you. And also hello 10th man.
Good morning.
G'day Nathan, how are you?
Very well, good to have you.
So basically, what it's because they didn't take a proposal off me before taking my money, then the proposal that they need to kick me out for now doesn't exist as part of the agreement. It comes after the event, which is going to be a problem for them to rely on. I don't think they're going to be able to kick me off, but they don't think that they've got a suitable supervisor. So it puts them in a position. So it's like, well, that's going to cause them a problem, and they don't know how to deal with it just yet. But watch this space is the position. I should know within the next week.
Thanks for the update, but still, it was a similar position last time. It's just got a lot more serious because last time it's like, right, well, I've just sent my email off to them saying, well, tough luck, we're contractually bound here, which is essentially what you've just said there. Shout out to Colin Turner for the super chat. Also, Agent Dubsky for smashing the super chat before the live show even started. Thank you very much indeed, both of you. Really appreciate your support. Good to see Sleeping Warrior back on the panel. It is good to see Sleeping Warrior back on the panel. He's promised me many times he'd come on and then not. So I'm really pleased to see him, and it's good to get an update on the education stuff because I didn't know, and now I do, and now you do. So yes, it is good.
I was busy I've got a house that I'm trying to put, well, it's on the market, but I've had a couple of people that come around to view it and wanted certain things, so I've had to do certain things on the house in the last couple of weeks, and it's just been busy with back and forth, and to be honest, I've been either exhausted and I didn't want to come on. And I'm quite happy to sit in the background and listen. The panel's full all the time now. I don't really need to be here. At the beginning, I was here just to poke some bears and see if we can get some conversation, but the bears have all dried up now because of the success of the show. But I realize that I don't really need to be there now when we've got new people that want to speak, that want to have their side, their 2 pence worth. And I'm all for that. I'm all for for new faces and stuff. But I only joined today because I saw the super chat yesterday asking for an update. So I thought, well, I'll go and join today, give the update, and then see where I'm at.
We sorely missed Eagle playing an anchor. Shout out to you. I second that, Colin. So you definitely missed Anthony.
Yeah, I'm going to stick myself on mute while I respond to this email because one of them's just come in from one of the institutions. So
oh wow,
15
okay,
minutes.
Cool. Well, thank you for the update.
No worries.
You free for a quick chat, Nathan?
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, we haven't spoken for a few months now. Not sure why, but you keep bringing up this gas pressure thing.
Yeah, we do.
Arwen, how are you?
Doing great. You?
Yeah, good, Arwen. Haven't spoken for a while either.
Put yourself on mute, 10th man. You're just causing a bit of crackling. Oh, you have done. Sorry.
No, but the old gas pressure thing where the Earth isn't in a gas pressure system. So we don't have gas pressure.
Yeah, we do. I'm breathing it.
No, we don't.
So I'm not breathing gas pressure right now.
You're breathing atmospheric pressure.
Yeah, gas pressure.
No.
So it's not gas at pressure. It's not gas pressure. You're just wrong. Can we just end this conversation with you accepting quickly, rather than embarrassingly much later, that you're just wrong, that we do definitely have gas pressure?
Nathan, are you inside a tyre?
Effectively, yes. Effectively, yes. That's our point.
No, effectively, no, you're not, because why would airliners have to be pressurized?
Because it's lower pressure up high. Because it's lower pressure up high.
30,000 feet, that have no reason to be
you're not letting me answer, you're just continuing to talk. So
okay, you answer.
And
you're
answer. Still doing it now.
Ahead.
So because it's lower pressure, lower gas pressure up high. So there's lower gas pressure higher. Just to be clear, there's now 2 things I've pointed out to you. Number 1, we definitely have gas pressure. And number 2, it's lower. That's why you have to pressurize a plane to make it more comfortable for the passengers.
Are you going to listen to my answer to that? Or are you going to cut me off? Should I begin to answer, or
what he'll feel like? Go ahead if you want to.
If we're in a contained system, you're in a tyre. It doesn't matter if you're at the rim or the outside of the tire, it's the same pressure.
No, we are in a dynamic system.
Nathan, look up atmospheric pressure. We lose 2 hectopascals per 1,000 feet.
What? Of what? Gas pressure that you say we don't have?
The international standard atmospheric pressure is 1,013 hectopascals at sea level. Every 1,000 feet we go up, ascend from sea level, we lose 2 hectopascals per 1,000 feet.
Can I ask a question for a moment?
Hold on,
So,
Arwin.
is atmospheric pressure
Arwin,
consistent of
I know
gas
he's slow,
pressure?
but Arwin, sorry. Go on, Jazz. Did you have a point?
No, Owen was asking a question.
Well, you hadn't made a point.
Go ahead, Owen.
You hadn't made a point. You just stated the obvious. Okay.
I have made a point. You could
what's
do
your
the
point?
math on a calculator
Arwin.
right
Thanks.
now as Owen's asking the question.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I'm
Owen.
asking the questions. Do you have a point?
It's in every aeronautical textbook in history.
So your point is pressure decreases with altitude, like my demonstration with the plane earlier. Yes, I think we're both aware of that, Jazz.
So, Nathan, you just said pressure decreases with altitude. If we're in a pressurized system, pressure would not decrease. It would be equal from the surface to wherever your capsule
Yes,
is.
you made that point again. That would be the second time you've made that point. Now, I would like you to... Yeah, now you're talking over me. Yeah, I'm going to repeat my response to that and see if you do the same as you've been doing, which is interrupting me while I leave long gaps for you to say or make a point. So that point's already been addressed. I doubt you can remember what I said. So I'll repeat it.
I'm making
Yeah, and now you're interrupting me again. Is this the only globehead tactic we have on this show now? Where Nathan speaks, you speak as well. I left huge pauses for your dumb, slow ass to make a point. Now I'm talking. So shut your stupid, slow mouth, listen to the response for the second time, and try to address it, Jazz. Don't talk! Does that not make sense? Within 15-second sentence, you can't help but disagree with the very sentiment of my point that I need to talk unimpeded by you. So shut up, listen to the repeated answer. That means don't talk until you have listened to the point and understood it. Preferably to the point you can repeat it before addressing it. Okay, Jazz? Given this is the second time I'm going to say this point, I will expect you to repeat it before addressing it. So, Jazz,
yes, sir.
There he goes, talking again like the complete retard. This is the problem that it seems is an affliction of many a globehead. They have the same problem that Rumpus has, which is that if something takes more than 15 seconds to say, they can't help but talk. This is a cognition problem demonstrated yesterday by Rumpus, who is also illiterate and cannot read. He is also suffering from an affliction where he cannot keep up with his own mouth. So, I'm going to have to take these toddler retards by the hand and tell them very sternly to shut up! Do you get me, Jazz?
Get the fuck on with it!
Yeah, I am being interrupted, and now I'm taking a toddler retard by the hand and saying, are you capable of listening to a repeated response? That's a question.
Yes, get the fuck on with it.
Don't swear, just listen. We live...
I am listening.
There he goes, saying he's listening as I start the statement. What a retard. I'll try a third time. Let's see if Jazz interrupts again. We live...
Hang on, Nathan, hang on.
Get out, you complete wanker. Get out of my hangout. I will make my point without you here, you total buffoon. You don't interrupt me for humorous reasons when I'm destroying your point. Yeah? You fundy zealots don't have to like me demolishing your point, but from now on, if you interrupt me, I'll just kick you. Yeah? Especially when I've had to raise my voice to an intolerant Aussie retard and point out that he's non-stop interrupting something that's already been said to him and he has completely ignored. So we live in a dynamic system, Jazz. Go and look it up, then come back with an address to it. Till then, sod off.
Yeah, that interruption thing is constant. I don't know what's going on with that. Why people do that is unbelievable.
I think it's a neurosis that's caused by a side effect of being able to always immediately type and enter your comment everywhere. And because most people are used to chatting rather than talking, it's very hard to get back to actual talking decency, which includes not interrupting, something you don't have a problem with in chat because you can just always type out whatever you want immediately. So I think it comes from that, and a lot of people have trouble with this these days.
Arwen, so do you.
Everyone.
Let's read a chat comment. Rob in chat says, dynamic system doesn't allow second law of thermo violation, Oakley. Yeah, that'd be right. Even in a dynamic system, you can't have a vacuum next to a gas pressure. So yeah, that'd be right, troll. Well done.
Hey, Nathan. Just thinking, while the caller who just left, I was thinking of water and how water at sea level could be frozen if the temperature is cold, but also it could be the liquid form. And the higher you go, it's in the rain cloud, but it's floating. And then we have hail. So water takes on different forms in our atmosphere, meaning gas in a container, based on temperature. Could that be of help for people to understand?
Yeah, we covered it on Ballbusters on Saturday gone. So this Saturday coming, we'll do a Ballbusters on the particle wave duality confusion. And last week we covered gas pressure and the second law of thermodynamics. So yeah, we covered Boyle's law and we covered all of the answers with a massive disclaimer, which is to say that this is the second part of the question. So the question in housekeeping is absolutely the first part. How do you have gas pressure without a container must be addressed before you get to pressure gradients, because without the container there can be no pressure. So you can't have a pressure gradient unless you've got pressure first, and without the container there is no pressure. So it's not an address to the question. But to answer you, yeah, absolutely, all of the different cycles, the carbon cycle, the hydrological cycle, the nitrogen cycle, all of these cycles are starting their origins at the ground where you have the highest pressure. There aren't carbon factories between us and the top of where they claim space is producing gases. Well, it dissipates, it gets less, and it cycles. So we aren't in a static tyre with nothing happening. We've got plants, we've got the sea, we've got all sorts of different cycles, water being one of the biggest ones, right? Visually obvious. So no, we don't live in a tyre, we live in a dynamic system. But that is in no way, in any way, even if it wasn't answered, an address to how you can have gas pressure in the first instance without a container, the necessary antecedent. It's just a straw man argument. The fact that it's now been answered, and this will be something that will undoubtedly get argued about, that straw man will get burnt eventually for no good reason. Doesn't matter. You still need the necessary antecedent in the first instance to have gas pressure, regardless of how dynamic the system we live in is.
Yeah.
Good answer.
I thought it was funny how he was trying to avoid gas pressure and talk about atmospheric pressure. Like, oh yeah, that's something else. So is atmospheric pressure gas pressure? What we didn't get to that point. So
it's the new tactic on the block to talk constantly through any answer that's awkward. That's the only tactic now. Rumpus has basically taught a whole crowd of people how to disrupt and obfuscate a damaging point or an address to any question, and they've all just taken on that tactic I don't think it is because of the chat feeds that go by. I think it's just by way of watching others do it and see that it's relatively successful. In other words, you won't be left in a position where you're basically giving us a nice little soundbite to put on a nice little trimmed out video to humiliate whoever's basically conceded our point, which they would eventually do. We are right.
Yep.
Yeah, when I'm on Discord, I get that constantly. It's kind of like the broken record syndrome. Whereas if you make a statement, all of a sudden you have 4 or 5 people that just can't help themselves. And at the end, they blame you for being disruptive. I go through that constantly with them.
Yeah, that's what you said yesterday. They basically, you and someone else were having a Discord on Discord, a discourse on Discord, and then a few of the trolls come along, and by the end you're getting timed out, moderated in whatever Discord moderation standards are, because you're causing a disruption.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Nathan, I'm just thinking of about what you said, and I believe it. I'm just thinking about a test maybe. If there was a tire that had a leak in it, say the tire had 40 psi of air pressure in it, and you put that tire with that leak in a room that had 80 psi constant, would that tire still leak, or would that 80 psi not allow that tire to leak? Is there a way of using that?
So you're saying in a room with higher pressure and the tyre with lower
Correct.
pressure, well, it's going to squash, it's going to compress that tyre.
I guess in my mind, I'm seeing here on ground level, when I have a leak in my truck tire, a slow leak, let's say, over a few days, of course, the tire goes low, and then I get the air compressor and fill it up. But if the tire itself, where I'm at, is an enclosed container that happened to have had higher pressure around it or equal pressure around it, would that tire still leak and go low?
Well, no, it'd be like a balloon. If it was equal pressure, it'd be like a balloon that's got no air in it. It's just at equal pressure. The gaps inside the inside of the skin of the balloon is the same as the outside, so it makes no difference. If you've got something that's physically compressible with a lower pressure inside it, then it will be compressed by the high pressure of the gas outside it, pressing on the outside surface of the tyre and not being repelled sufficiently by the inside pressure on the inside of the tyre, so it'll get squashed. I mean, you're saying there's a hole in it, which, you know, you could argue that maybe some of the pressure would eventually leak in through the hole. It's no different to it leaking out at high pressure inside the tyre to say that the high pressure outside the tyre, it's just the other side of the surface that's causing the barrier. But would it go through a hole? Yeah, eventually.
Right. So when I put 40 psi in a tire and someone puts a hole in it, it disperses because of the outside pressure being different than the tire pressure, because the tire pressure is more relative density, correct?
Yeah, same as what we're asserting would happen if you had, which you cannot, a vacuum of the sky. The higher pressure, in the same way as you poke a hole in a tyre and there's a disequilibrium, there's a lower pressure outside the tyre than there is inside the tyre, so you have a rapid decompression via however efficient the decompression can occur through the hole. So if you've got a tiny little hole, it might be, as you put it, a slow puncture. All that's happening is over a very shortened period of time, every time one of those molecules hits the hole instead of the wall of the container, the tyre, it escapes through the hole. Well, that might take a long time for all of the gas to dissipate through that hole as it bounces around randomly inside the tyre. Obviously, if you've got a bigger hole, you're more likely to see the particles colliding with the tyre, bouncing off the inside rim of the tyre, and then onto the hole and out into the lower pressure system. So that would take a shortened time. You know, if you put a big gash in it, you get rapid decompression, as you know, it's because the molecules are high energy, they're bouncing around quickly, and they're going to get to the gash in the tyre much faster, and you know, it's not going to take any time at all for the gas to reach an equilibrium with the pressure around it. So, you know, that's dependent on the hole, which is kind of, you know, it's easy enough to explain, but ultimately speaking, you know, the valve serves the same purpose. If you've got 40 psi on your tyre and you press the valve, all the higher energy gas wants to do is escape into the lower pressure. So you press a valve on your tyre and it goes pshh, because the gas wants to go into the lower pressure system. And that's precisely what we are asserting would happen in the open system they pretend we have in a vacuum of space. You look up at the sky, and what are you looking at? Well, you're looking at a considerably low pressure system. And there's no valve, there's not even a tyre. You know, it's just complete nonsense.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it. You can't have tire pressure without a tire. So you make total sense with that.
But see, the thing that they have is a very strong belief. See, they have a belief in this thing called gravity, that it has the ability to keep this air separated from this vacuum of space. And that's all it is. It's just a belief. Once you corner them on that belief, it's game over.
Indeed, because in their own modeling, if they do it fairly, it doesn't even work out then. just steadily pushes against the atmosphere, downward supposedly, while the natural need for gas pressure to expand within the available container is so much stronger. Yeah, they know it, and they just never address it.
Well, at one time, I had that belief because that was the pseudoscience being taught to me. But then when you critically think about it, I formed a new belief. You can't have tire pressure without a tire. So beliefs can change.
Yeah, look at Spaceballs. The gag of Mega Maid does not work because if they didn't put a dome around the sphere Earth in that movie, then all of the gas would already escape to the vacuum. But the gag is that Mega Maid's got a vacuum, so she has to open a hatch in the dome around Earth. Well, why have they had to put a dome around it? Well, because the gas would fill the space. You know, Mega Maid would get there and there'd be no gas. It'd already be gone to the space. It would fill it instantaneously because there isn't even a tyre in the first place. So none of us would be breathing if their rhetoric about the heliocentric sphere Earth in space was true. It isn't. We all know it. I don't think there's any globeheads on the panel. There's plenty in chat. You know, and for all those who say, well, what's actually keeping the pressure in? I have no idea. Smile while I say this. I don't need to make any claims. I've never been up to the sky. I am not bold enough to claim what the sky is. One of my first questions when I came to this subject, although it's not exactly the same, is why is the sky blue? I don't have any more answers to what the sky is than what its colour is or how it's composed. Yeah, you globeheads can rattle off a nice little explanation for that, can't you, in your heliocentric world with the sun distant? Yeah? Well, no, unfortunately that world doesn't work. The gas would fill the space. Mega Maid would have no gas to suck away.
First, you need the security code to the airlock. You know what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what an idiot would have as a security code on his lunchbox. Remember?
Yeah, but then doesn't the Schwartz guy who's playing like a squirrel-looking character in that particular scene? It's the president. That's right. It's the president in that scene that Mel Brooks is playing, and he says, "That's the code to my suitcase."
Exactly.
You know, another thing I'm finding too is that people are saying that if you don't have an argument that can be ripped apart, then you're not playing fair. In other words, you can't have an ironclad defense. That's you have to be cheating if that's the case. So they want you to have something that's open to their ridicule and that they can pick apart, and they get very upset if you don't have that.
If you think about that logically, if the accused is accused of murder, he doesn't have to provide the proof to who did provide the murder. He has to just provide the proof that why he did not. There's no burden on anybody to prove an alternative claim. It's just to point the holes in point out the holes in the current position.
Exactly. You don't have to come up with a just so story. And to address what Slick just said, hi UK Truth, by the way, good to have you. Hello.
What? Sorry?
He's by the mic. He's not by the mic. Okay, anyway, just to address your point, Slick, which I've now half forgotten. What was your point again? Sorry.
No, I was saying they get upset if you're like if I make a statement and you can't pick it apart. Well, they get upset about that because they feel that you have to have a statement that they could pick apart or you're not playing fair.
Right. So, yes, exactly. So, in the case of this argument, Anthony's saying, I don't have to provide a model to dismiss the claim that I've murdered somebody. I know I'm just mixing the two up just to make it a bit less clear. But yeah, in other words, you don't have to come up with a just so story for who did perform the murder. And you don't have to provide a model. But they get very annoyed when you do that. When you go, I don't know, all of these global projections have been taken from a flat world, projected onto a globe, projected onto a flat map. And that's why there's bloody thousands of them. I don't ascribe to any of those. Well, you must! Because I've got this false equivalence that I need to make with your model. It's not my model. Yeah, it is! All of these other people believe it. I don't care. Don't care. It's not my model. Models are pseudoscience. They don't prove anything. Who cares?
You know, it's
Exactly.
they get that cognitive dissonance because they're not seeking truth. It's just they're shocked, and they want to replace what you're saying that they which we all were there at some point. Okay, if what I believe now is false, then what is the truth? And as you have said many times from the start, again, I've just been a recent follower, but your arguments have been better over the years and you're able to explain it more. Stuff you guys talk about now, you didn't know in 2015 or whenever you started. So some things are mysteries. And so the globe heads, because if they were really seeking truth, they say, well, let me see your evidence why you believe it's a flat earth. But what do? They say, they start defending it and they don't listen to the evidence. And then those that, like myself, I can only speak for myself here. When I first saw it, I said, interesting. Let me look into it. And then I just saw the evidence. And I said, wait a minute, if I've been taught a lie to begin with, and this evidence resonates with me right now, I could test some of these things. And I didn't have a problem replacing the lie with the newfound truth. But these globeheads do. And then when we tell them this, they say, okay, then what is it? Well, give us a few more years. We might answer a few more questions as we seek ourselves. But mystery doesn't mean that it's not there. Just because something's a mystery doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Shout out to Life is Short for the super chat. It says 266 watching. Shout out to Mega Maid. Can't have gas pressure without a volume. Yeah, indeed. Boyle's Law, as again we covered on Globebusters. So, yeah, you need a volume of a container for Boyle's Law to apply. The same antecedent is always in play when discussing gas pressure. It's always about the container. Anyway, shout out to Life is Short.
I got a quick story. I'm not a religious person, but I'm familiar with this story, and it's very interesting. But if anybody's familiar with the Jesus story, they'll remember that every time the people questioned him, they were always trying to get him with these I gotchas, always trying to set him up, always trying to make him slip. And, I kind of experienced the same thing with this I gotcha stuff, because it seems like that's what's constantly going on. You have to find a way to get me to slip somehow. And I just find it very interesting that those two stories kind of tie together.
Are you saying you're Jesus?
I didn't say anything of the sort.
Hey, physics.
Hi, Nathan.
Well, so it's funny you bring that up, because I was thinking. Hey, Nathan, sorry to kind of cut in, right. But since Slick brought that up, it's funny to me because he's the one that is, has all these answers and these beliefs and things and experiences. But just a couple of days ago, when 10th Man said he's experienced the mirror line in water on a boat that he used to own, Slick's next response was, well, how do you have expertise in that? So now we go from beliefs to needing expertise. So Slick, you kind of caught your own self up in that mess of word salad.
Okay, so would you say that that's a gotcha?
I'm saying you caught your own self up. Call it what you want. You asked for experience. 10th Man said he has experience on the water. He used to have a boat. And then you ask how he has expertise in that.
So what's your point?
My point is you're all mixed up. Which do you want? Do you want experience or do you want expertise? That's my point.
Okay. So is that a gotcha? Is that kind of like a little victory for you?
No. Hold on. Let me just clarify. He's asking you, just so it's less, or seemingly less confrontational. He's just asking you kind of what path are you on, what are your end goals, what are you trying to achieve. If what comes across to the audience is that you're confused in what you're putting out, that's what he's trying to get at. I think, Chris, is that correct?
Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, so no, when I'm asking him that, what I'm asking him is this based on some knowledge that he has, or is this just coming from a belief? See, I'm trying to distinguish the difference between a belief and actually knowing what's going on.
But he experienced it on his boat.
What did he experience?
The mirror, the water, the mirror reflection and refraction that covered the bottom of the boat.
And what did that mean?
I can tell you.
Tell me, what did that mean?
When you speak the way you speak, we have to try to get to where we can't say the word believe to you when we remark back.
No, sorry, I've got to stop. That's not what he's asking. Just so this stays on track, the conversation between Chris and Slick. Sorry, yes, that might be a valid point, 10th Man. What he's saying is, what did the mirage prove? What did that show? What's the end conclusion? That's Slick's question. So I just don't want that to get lost in your describing how Slick's behaving. I'm sorry. If you can hold on to it, feel free to ask in 5 minutes. But he's asking Chris specifically, well, what's the point of that? I.e. the Mirage line and what he experienced.
I'm sorry. I just thought there was a transition to me when I said I could answer that.
Possibly, but I thought you were directly going to address Slick's question, which is what's the result of people experiencing this Mirage line? So, but you were straight into, well, how you're behaving, Slick, is X, Y, Z.
Well, let me rephrase it so that I could get right to it then, because I was trying to be more detailed so it would make more sense. I believe what I saw.
Exactly.
But he did see it, Slick. But what's the problem? What's the issue here? He did see it. It did happen. Maybe he's even got a photo of it. So what's the problem?
Well, no, he said, listen, the only thing that I'm saying is when you take a look at these photos and you make a declaration based on your belief, that's why I ask, how can you verify this? Is this just a belief or is this something you have verified? So that's what I was doing when I'm asking those questions.
Okay, well, hopefully this will draw a line on this. When there's a picture of something, I thought we covered this yesterday, if you're declaring the obvious, so for example, on screen now, will anybody disagree with me when I say, I believe that there's running water in this picture? Hands up who disagrees with me. Is that not just stating the obvious? No belief required, really.
Yeah, but do you also agree that running water is not a contentious topic?
That's my point. I'm saying that if you're seeing a mirror line, let's make it slightly contentious, and you say mirror line, that's acceptable because it's patently obvious it's in the picture. Yeah? Now, cause of mirror line, that's a different assertion. That requires belief.
And those are the questions that I'm asking when they say I'm asking what's the cause of it, because what they're saying is that mirror line shows a flat earth. So I'm questioning how are they coming to that conclusion?
Excellent. We're back on track. So Chris, if you're there, that was why I stopped 10th Man, because that was the kind of the concise point that Slick's making when he asks, well, what's it proving? What's that tell you?
Yeah, I don't remember the full context of the conversation. I remember we were looking at a picture. He showed a mirror line. 10th Man said it was a mirror line. Slick asked how we knew it. 10th Man said, I've experienced it on my boat. And then Slick asked what expertise you have in determining if it's a mirror line. That's sort of how I remember it going. But
well, that's okay, but you're remembering it incorrectly because that's not what happened.
Okay, I'll have to listen back because I think that's what happened.
It wasn't.
Do you believe it wasn't, or do you know?
I don't have a belief. I don't have a belief system.
There's the word of the day. Is that continuous? I can't see it with the glare. I think so. Thanks for the super chat, Seagull playing Nanka. Really appreciate your support.
So, why do you?
Oh, contentious.
Why do you...
Sorry, I see it on the iPad now.
Is open to talk or?
Sorry, it's my bad. I'm shouting at the super chatters. YouTube before debate. Sorry.
I want to, excuse me, sorry about that. And I'll try to make this the last time I even talk about this. When I gave Slick and the audience the example of the ATM and the robbery, to the best of my recollection, Slick said, that doesn't prove anything. And I asked him why. And he said, because you don't know if the guy had a gun pointed to his head. When you really consider that, you have to say, oh, that appeals to motive. Even the guy in court would say, yeah, that's me in the film robbing the ATM, but here's why I did it. Even the guy doesn't deny it proves him breaking into it. But the why he's doing it is the motive. Somehow Slick thought if the picture shows the guy robbing it, you can't say he was robbing it because you don't know why he was robbing it. Even the man would say why he was robbing it is because someone had a gun to his sister's head and he had to go rob it because he loves his sister more than the crime itself. So if the man in the picture admits it's him, how could Slick say you can't have that as proof? He's appealing to motive.
Okay, once again, you're probably misunderstanding my point. My point is that a photo does not tell you everything. Even though you think it does, there may be other circumstances that you can't see that might play a role in what you think you see. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, what does a photo prove up to your point of acceptance?
Listen, were you not clear on just what I just said? Because I just answered your question, but I don't know if you heard me.
I heard you. You said it doesn't prove everything. I'm asking to you, how much of everything is everything?
Listen, I don't want to take it any farther than that. I've made my point. If you don't understand what I just said, I can't help you any
No
farther.
worries. Well, I'll elaborate then, Slick. So the question, it depends on the photo and it depends on the question. So what's being asked is ultimately important. What's in the photo in the first place is also equally as important. So what you're talking about when you look at motive is akin to trying to figure out the why or the cause if you're doing something scientific. So you can't necessarily establish the cause of a man robbing the ATM, but you can see that he is robbing the ATM in the picture. So it depends entirely on what your statement is. You can make a statement of fact that doesn't reveal motive in your example. For example, there is a man 6 foot tall robbing an ATM. That is a statement of fact based on the photos. Yeah, even if it turns out that it's a dummy of a man, you know that. So what I'm saying is, even when you assert something that is seemingly patently absurdly true, that could still be proven incorrect. But all that means, and again, we discussed this all, I think, on Globebusters on Saturday. It means that the fact isn't a fact to begin with. So yes, you can make statements and you can use logical inference from what you actually see. I can imply this water is flowing. Now, if it turns out that this was actually a CGI composite made by CGI Ranty, and I was just fooled, then my statement of fact was just incorrect to begin with. But all things being equal and no deception being implied, I can make certain logical inferences just from looking at the picture. But if I start to come up with the cause of this water flowing, then that's a different story. That might require my beliefs. It might require me applying certain amounts of logic that hasn't been inferred by the picture. Okay?
That was perfect, Nathan. Thank you.
That's exactly what I said.
Well, we're all good. But it just, occasionally, just to be slightly critical of you, Slick, in terms of the way you phrase things, it's because you're over concise. Sometimes you use too few words, and I get your point instantly, which is why I tried to keep Chris on track with what's the point, what's being asserted about the picture is kind of your question. But instead, it was just, well, what does that prove? Or I can't remember the exact words, and I'm trying to quote you verbatim, but if I paraphrase what your sentiment was, it was short and concise. And while I got the point, other people question your motives, which is just human nature. But it can seem like you're obsessively solipsistic, if that's the right word. You only require physical experience and nothing else will do. Therefore, the Eiffel Tower doesn't exist until you actually go there, which is obviously absurd. But I'm just being honest from the comments I read, that's the way it comes across. And, I'm sure I said that to you as well on a couple of other shows. There you go. There's hopefully the reasons behind why this is being discussed. But it's still important that people get the distinction. What can be reasonably asserted about what you see in a picture and what cannot? Well, cause is usually the problem. People assert a cause to what they allege is in a picture. So you've got multiple levels of problems, and you've got to start to boil down, as Slick is doing, down to the brass tacks. What are we actually asserting here? Okay, water, yeah, that's fine. Mountain, yeah, that's fine. God created it all. Hold on a second. Where'd you get that from? Well, look, it's self-evident. There's plants there. Creation, right? Well, that's proof of God. No, now we've got an issue, haven't we?
And just to clarify my oversimplification of, say, like if somebody showed me a picture like the tower we were talking about, if I haven't seen that tower, I can't verify it. Now, whatever that sophism thing is, if that's what it is, I can't help that. That's just how it goes. But that's me. I can only verify what I can verify. And that's all there is to it. If I can't do that, then as far as I'm concerned, it's just a belief. That's all I can tell you.
And in your world, you discount my belief.
I don't discount anything. I just don't have them. You can have all the beliefs you want. I don't.
Well, actually, when you say you don't, you have to say, I believe, I don't believe.
I don't have to say anything. All I have to do is say what I just said. Now you can either accept, hold on, you can either accept it or not. That's not my problem if you don't.
I understand that. It's like I've been through this conversation. This is pantheism. There's only consciousness. There's no physical world. You break every rule of logic when you do that. We can't have a decent conversation because you basically are saying there's only consciousness and the physical world is an illusion.
Listen, I'm not, that's you talking. I didn't even make a statement like that. See, this is what's happening. I make a statement. Hold on. I make a statement, and then you take my statement and then you rearrange it and then force that back on me. That's not working. What I'm trying to tell you is that instead of rearranging my statements, just listen to what I say and take it as that and let it be.
Great. I appreciate it.
Okay, I don't know the meaning behind this, but shout out to Jim Morrison in the chat. Was the $25 super chat from Eagle Plane and Anchor. So if there's some significance behind that, I don't know what it is, but thank you very much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Shout out to Jim Morrison. He gets 2.
Yes, let me finish with Slick here, and I really do enjoy your philosophy, Slick. Please don't take this the wrong way. But when Ibon Kim asked me to come on his show and be a guest, I agreed, and we had just over an hour talk. And I saw that he had interviewed you for over 2 hours, I think 2 hours, 7 minutes. You had an interview with Ibon Kim. So I said, okay, let me see what I can find out more about Slick and why he says the things he says. Well, I've watched that thing twice now. If you just go watch yourself, you say it there. So if I quote you, is that true?
Well, what if something changed since then?
Yeah, but that's a recording device, and I'm quoting
Answer
you.
I know.
I am. Let me finish. I'm trying to say, did you or did you not say those things in a 2 hour, 7 minutes interview for anyone to go to Ibon Kim's channel to watch? Did you say those things if they were recorded and it was you? Just answer that.
Of course I did. If it was me and I recorded it, who else would be saying it?
Exactly. So then when I quote you from there and I say, this is what Slick says, do you want me to go back and give you a minute and second, Mark? I will if you want.
You can do that, but now do you hear what I'm telling you right now? Things change. Maybe something has changed since that time. And now, do you understand that it's possible that things can change? Do you understand that? Okay.
I do.
Okay.
But has your statement on belief changed from that time?
Yes, apparently it has.
Well,
I don't have, listen, hold on. Maybe I had beliefs back then when I made that tape with Ibon. I don't have them now. Things change. This belief thing just happened about a week ago. That conversation I had with Ibon was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Do you understand the difference? Things change. I don't have a belief system at this point in time, period, not whatsoever. I don't care what recording you have, whoever tells you, it doesn't matter. Listen to what I'm telling you now. I don't have a belief system, period. Now that's the last I have to say about it.
Well, that may be the last.
Can I ask like a question?
Hang on. Let me finish.
Hold on. Let 10th man get to the end of his point, and then yes, Paul.
Let me finish, and then you guys can take it over, because I don't want to go back and forth with Slick, because it's already recorded, and I am saying, and quote me if I'm wrong, and I'll apologize if I'm wrong. Anyone go to that channel, watch that 2 hours, 7 minutes. I believe, Slick, you didn't have a belief system then. Based on your own words, recorded. I'm done.
I don't really understand the point. So if I didn't have one then, I don't have one now. What's the problem?
That's the point of my statement.
I just don't understand
it either.
I don't know. I'm lost here.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Somebody
do. Maybe rephrase your point again, 10th man, because I lost the point at the end there as well. Sorry.
All right. So when this whole thing happened when I said Slick doesn't believe in the physical world, it's an illusion, and consciousness, there's only one consciousness. There's not two consciousness. We're all the same consciousness. You can't really murder anyone because you'd be murdering yourself. These are all the things he says on that tape. And I'm saying, okay, this is pantheism. This is a branch of Hinduism. This is saying that consciousness or conscious is God, and we're all a part of it. So we're all actually divine beings. This is what I'm getting from it. And if anyone wants to go and listen to it and say I'm wrong, I will admit I'm wrong. But I've listened to it twice, and if my ears are working, that's what he's saying. And he's saying that was then, this is now, but he's saying the same thing.
I just need to say hello to the new guest. Is it? Sorry, I didn't catch your full name. Skitsky.
How you doing, man? You alright, Nathan?
Very well. How you doing?
Good. I just wanted to come in just to make a comment on Slick James.
Hey, Tommy. What's going on?
Yeah, all right, lads.
Oh, it's good, man.
If you think about it, Slick will say that he has not a belief system, but just by saying it doesn't mean that it makes sense, because when he drives his car, he has expectations of how the traffic will go. He has expectations of the acceleration, the brake. You know, his experience isn't going to be enough to drive a car, because he has to have expectations of how that car has to work to operate that vehicle. So he may say to you, I do not have a belief system, but you cannot drive a car without having experience. So from your previous experience gives you expectations, which are beliefs. So regardless that he says he doesn't have a belief system, doesn't exonerate him from actually having a belief.
Okay, I can address that. I don't have beliefs. When I drive a car, it's based on past experience. So let's say I drove my car yesterday. I have a past experience of driving a car. If I drive that car today and I get that same experience, I'm not surprised. I'm not expecting anything. Now, do you understand that?
The reason you're not surprised... The reason you're not surprised...
Do you understand what I just said?
You are not surprised is because you have an expectation.
I do not have an expectation.
You can say that. Or you can sing that song for the cows come home, but and that does not change the facts.
And you can sing your song.
You cannot drive a car without experience. Your experience gives you expectations. Your expectations are beliefs.
Listen, you don't speak for me. I keep telling you, I speak for me. You can't tell. Listen, stop cutting me off. You can't speak for me. Let me finish and you can say what you want. And I'm going to say this one last time, and I'm going to go on mute and let you say anything you want. You can't tell me anything about me, period. Only I can. So whatever you say I have, it means nothing, because it's what I say I have that counts, not you. I'm going on mute.
It doesn't matter what you say. You can sing the song till the cows come home. It doesn't change the fact that you have expectations. Expectations are beliefs. You can sing that song as much as you want and trigger people to try and explain to you how you are wrong as much as you want. All you're doing is demonstrating how much of an invalid you are.
Yeah, an expectation is a belief.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making today's live debate possible. If you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley channel premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley 1980, this is where we bid you farewell. So I'll also say a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of you watching in the live audience for smashing the super chat, sharing, subscribing if you've not done so already. If you need something to keep you occupied after this live stream is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Deem him to be abusive. If I have someone who's abusive, I don't hang around with them. So why do you keep coming back for this abusive relationship that you talk about?
Oh, well, when I can get some basic information out, then it can be useful to me. It furthers my what I want to do.
Yeah, but see,
we're all here for the same reason. We all like attention. We all like information. We like debating. You know, it's fun. Yeah. You know, it's no secret why we're all here.
Yeah.
When I want to get information, I go to people who want to listen and talk. I don't go to abusive people.
Sure.
Now, Right, but you're saying Nathan's abusive, and you keep coming back to him.
He's abusive because the way that people explain things to him, it doesn't sit well with him. So
no,
it's
he
the same
doesn't
way I abuse people. When people talk shit to me, if it sounds like shit to me, I'm going to call them out on it. That's not.
Well, I wasn't talking shit. I wasn't even permitted to finish a sentence.
I'm not saying you. Yeah, but it is very, very difficult to talk to. I agree with that.
Brenda, you're missing my point. My point is, why do you keep coming back if you're not allowed to finish your statement to who you call abusive, Nathan? Why do you keep coming back? Why do you do that? It's more about you coming back.
Well, because the harm that is being caused by Flat Earth
I see.
is greater than my personal struggles.
Okay,
well said, Brenda. Well said. No matter what you said, they're going to criticize it anyway because they want to shut you down. They want you to talk out and give people sense and good explanations. So they're going to criticize whatever you say anyway.
Yeah. So we know, for instance, that Nathan is not actually a flat earther. We know that you're just selling.
Sorry, Brenda. If you
t-shirts.
do that again, do you remember what happened last time in chat when you started telling people what I think? Do you remember what happened? Should we do that right now? Let's establish on the panel what a woman is. Should we do that, Brenda? So we can establish what you... Excuse me, I haven't finished. Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you. But we'll just go around the panel and we'll establish what you know or don't know. Should we do that for the panel, Brenda? Let's ask you first. Go on, Brenda, what's your answer?
To what question?
What's a woman?
A woman is a social role that is performance.
Oh, no, it's definitely not. I'll have to cut you off straight away. It's a genetic thing.
No, it's not. That would be a human female. That there's a difference between a gender identity and sexual, biological sex. There's differences there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you haven't defined it still. What is it?
Biological sex would be your natal sex assigned to you at birth, right? Woman or man, those are social roles that people play, right, to fit into their social environment.
No,
right?
I'm not socially
what
a man.
defines a man or
I
a
don't
woman
agree.
varies.
I don't agree.
What defines a man or
it's
a
not
woman
social.
varies from culture
It's
to
not
culture.
social. It's not social. It's biological.
What?
It's not social. It's biological.
Hey, Brenda, what's
biological?
Brenda, what's a double X and an XY chromosome?
Those are the sex. Those are chromosomes. Yeah.
Ah, there we go. There's the answer.
So
there we go.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Who was that? 10th man.
I don't-
10th man seems to know stuff. So Brenda doesn't know what a woman is.
No, that's different.
Well, no, we
I
just
know
had the
what
answer.
biological
We just had the
sex
answer. What, someone else gave
I
a
know it.
concise answer. You gave a load of social bollocks, didn't you?
Yeah. No, I just.
Yeah, you did. You gave us a load of social bollocks. There's an answer. It was given, not by you. So you don't know what a woman is.
Nathan. Yes, I do. I defined it.
No, someone else defined it. I'm going to hear the definition again.
I told you
Uninterrupted. Uninterrupted. Go ahead, 10th man.
No,
yes.
No, that doesn't mean you talk, Brenda. We gave you plenty of opportunity. You talked all about
you
social
haven't
things.
allowed me to talk
social
at all.
things. No.
The sex is biological. The men have XY chromosome. Women have a double X. The man determines the sex of the children that are being born.
Yeah, the Y chromosome does that.
Right, and only the man has that.
Oh, so it's all to do with social things then.
It varies quite a bit, though.
Sorry, nothing to do with social things then, which is what you stated. So you don't know, do you, Brenda? You don't know this. So let's just make it clear that you don't know
Nathan?
what a woman is.
Nathan?
We've just defined it. We've just defined it for you, Brenda, and you've agreed.
No,
Don't need
I
to talk
didn't
over me. Just accept that you don't know stuff. And then next time you rumpus the crap out of me while I point out that you don't understand something, you're very confused about something, and then someone on the panel actually defines it for you, you can accept that we know there's things that you don't know. We know that for fact. But you don't need to tell people what I don't know unless you do establish that for a fact, like I've just done with you.
You are not a flat earther.
No, I am absolutely a flat earther. The earth is obviously and observably flat. You can quote me that 1,000 times saying it. So why would you assert such utter horse crap about me?
Oh, because you've given indications that you don't actually believe the nonsense you spew on your show, right? This is just to sell T-shirts.
Well, then why would I be? Why?
No.
No.
That again is a load of crap. I sell T-shirts, so I've got money to spend. Not that I get a great deal of money from t-shirts, but that's the reason I sell t-shirts. Not because I believe the Earth is a globe. That's farcical.
And as far as the male, female, woman, man thing, I define that difference, and I accept that male and female sexes exist and are biological. I don't accept that woman-man distinction is biological. It's a social role.
That's a double negative. You just said the complete opposite. Those two things are in contradiction, Brenda. It seems clear that you don't understand this. That's why I pointed it out. Those two things are in direct contradiction. To say, I understand what makes one thing and one thing the other, and then say, but they don't because socially, that's a contradiction. Right. That's why I point out that you don't understand it. I know you don't understand this, Brenda. That's why I can state you don't understand it. Because you don't. Because when you offer up an explanation, you talk all over people like you are now, and then you offer up contradictions, demonstrating admirably that you don't understand. So let's not tell people that I'm not a flat earther when I absolutely unequivocally am. That's just a lie by you, someone who doesn't understand.
It's not a contradiction. It's two different categories.
Brenda, the thing is, you need to see this differently because you obviously, this is personal to you. That you've got conflicts with
that's the whole point.
Yeah, it's personal to me when you claim I think we live on an absolute ridiculous model, reifying a fantasy that we live in a second law of thermodynamics violation. I take that quite personally. That's why I've done this, Brenda. You think it's okay to claim that somebody who is effectively, let's make it an equivalent. It's like saying a Buddhist is a Christian when they're not. That would be offensive to a Buddhist, wouldn't it? Well, you're calling me a fundy zealot globehead. I'm not.
Hey, Brenda,
I think the reason he says that, Nathan, is because he thinks that you're smarter than you let off, and that anyone with the ability to understand things would come to the conclusion that the Earth's round, not flat. So that's why I think he thinks deep down he's got a hunch, or a belief that you would be a glober because you're too smart to be a flat earther.
Oh, it's a backhanded compliment, is it?
Possibly. I think that's where it's coming from, because even myself, I feel that somebody that understands so much about things can get it wrong.
Well, let's just ask, is that backhanded compliment, Brenda?
No, I don't think you're very intelligent.
I didn't think so. Yeah, hey, I think you're dumb too.
Brenda, I have a question for you.
What's his belief for thinking you're? What is it then? Well, what is the reason you think he's a glober? There's no other reason to believe that, is there? Well, I don't see no rational reason to think that.
If you have any compression shirts, I'd be interested.
Brenda, what's your reason to think that he's a glober then, when he's given no reason to believe, no obvious sign to be one? And if you're saying he's not intelligent, but then he's a glober, that's contradictory.
No, I don't think so. I think he's given indications that he doesn't believe these things. Basically, when this channel first started, I was one of the first people on his panel. And his beliefs and attitudes and comportment was completely different.
So he's matured.
Yeah. So what?
No, I think there's indications that you're just using this. That's right. That's why I think that.
Even if he is right, then everyone's allowed to use the YouTube and for whatever purpose they want, regardless whether you agree with it or not. If it's entertaining, it gains traction, and it generates revenue, then so be it. Nobody should really just be a hater on the fact that he's been successful in what he's doing. If he's I don't see eye to eye with him, but if whatever he's doing working, then good Godspeed to him. Some people earn money off people suffering. Some people like money from all types of things in the world. I can't figure on the top of my head, but you get my point.
Well, I think he does real harm to ignorant and gullible people who buy this baloney.
Well, then start your own channel.
Yeah, whatever Nathan is, we need more of him.
Well, that brings us back to the first... Sorry to interrupt. That brings us back to the first question you were asked, Brenda. So I think it was 10th Man that was saying, well, if you see this as negative, in the same way as I see ghost hunting as negative, or mainstream media as negative, I got rid of my television and don't watch ghost hunters.
No, I think you do real harm, that's why.
Yeah, no, I understand that. What I'm saying is, it could be perceived as masochistic to engage in something that you feel is damaging. If you genuinely believe this is damaging, then then you vote with your feet and you don't watch.
No, I'm willing to set my own issues aside in order for a greater purpose, which is to debunk and refute flat Earth.
Nah, you're the superhero.
Okay, hold on.
To save us all, right?
Hold on.
No, that doesn't follow. That doesn't follow.
Hold on, Brenda. I've just got a follow-up question. So, have you done that then? You have You have an equal platform to me on YouTube. So, have you made debunking videos and had debates and done all that stuff as well?
I do debates. I do debates quite a bit. Yes.
So you have debating videos on your channel?
No, I do debates with other people.
All right.
And
are they on other damaging subjects?
The best way, Brenda, the best way you can destroy Nathan Oakley, the best way you could destroy Nathan Oakley is to start your own YouTube channel. Then when people come and watch you and see what you're saying, they can go to Nathan's and see if Nathan actually said that, and you will increase his audience size.
Right.
Well, another way is to go on his panel and to demonstrate to the viewers. There's a lot of viewers of the channel that are undecided or are not as dogmatic as everybody, and his behavior, his extreme behavior, can push people away.
I would argue that.
Push people away from what?
People are gullible.
Hold on. Push people away from what? My channel.
Oh my God, words.
My channel.
Your behavior, Nathan.
Push them away from what? Be specific.
From the flat Earth. From the flat Earth.
Oh no! Behavior. So you're saying me as an individual might stop people appreciating that the Earth is obviously and observably flat? Oh my bad. The Earth doesn't give a shit.
Well, no, the Earth doesn't give a shit. But
yeah, it's still going to be flat regardless of how nasty you perceive me not letting you not concede is, and how masochistic you are to repeatedly come back to other platforms when you have the same platform available to you to make your protest about this. But no, you're here claiming you're being abused. You're just pathetic. You're a little worm.
You're abusive.
Masochistic.
Behavior.
That's all you are. A masochist. You claim you're being punished. Oh, woe is me. I've come here to be whipped. Well, fuck off. Go and get whipped somewhere else. Piss off.
No, your abusive behavior drives other
I'm
people
telling
away.
you. Yeah, you're like a battered wife. You're like a battered wife, aren't you?
Yeah.
So the husband slaps the wife. And the
Or
wife
like
says,
child.
oh, I'm
Or
going to
like
go
your
back.
child.
And isn't it terrible? Feel sorry for me because I've come back. And I've got slapped again. Learn the first time. Take this as a slap in your stupid face. Yeah? I'm calling you a dumb bitch and slapping you and telling you to get the fuck out of my house. Now, you've got two choices, Brenda. Be a whiny martyr bitch and keep coming back and moaning about how abusive I am, or just piss off.
Is that how you raise your child, Nathan?
Oh, come on, Nathan. Oh, come on, lads. Just chill out, man. You just have to
See, she's actually come to have a dig at me. So now she's gone on to how I raised my child. My child's not in the house, Brenda. That's why I can call you a stupid bitch. She's not here.
Yeah, you have somebody else. You have somebody else you can hit.
Okay.
So so we're on to deflection, Brenda. Brenda, let's see how long it takes Brenda to address what I've just said. This is why I get like this with Brenda. You've ignored me. So I'm saying to you, hypothetically, I've done it quite aggressively to make my point better. It's also comedic. But for my own amusement and for the audience who's going to watch this, I'm asking a specific question with a hypothetical scenario attached. So, there's an abusive wife. I'm having to speak slower because you've ignored it. Yeah? And she gets slapped. And she goes to the police and says, I've been slapped. And the police say, leave your husband. He's a nasty man. And she goes back to the husband and then gets slapped again and then appeals to all of the people in the neighbourhood for sympathy. And they go, well, he's abusive. You said it yourself. What are you doing in his company? Just don't be in his company. So I'm asking you, given that you are moaning about my behaviour towards you, and I'm not even going to try and justify my behaviour. I obviously feel justified in my actions. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be sat here. But I'm asking you to address why you have these masochistic tendencies, Brenda.
I don't. And the fact that, the fact that a woman
he has a look, Brenda. He has a point. He has a point.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
No. He has a point. You
No,
don't
he
go
doesn't.
back to an abusive
He doesn't
partner
have a
and
point.
cry. You can't go back to somebody that's abusing you and then claim that they're abusing you over and over.
It doesn't.
You can't do that because you're putting
Yes, I
yourself in a
can.
situation, right, where you feel victimized and you feel abused and you keep going back for more. Then that's somebody I can't support. You know, I do think that you're very smart, Brenda. I do think that what you say, you know, is good and your intentions are good. But if you keep going back to someone that's abusive, that you claim is abusive, you haven't got a leg to stand on because you keep putting yourself back in a situation where you're being abused.
No.
But you're not a victim. You're not a victim. You're somebody that has an opposing view. You come out with your own remarks. You've also abused him since I've been here. You've also tried to. You have, though. You've made comments yourself. You're not a saint yourself. You're putting yourself in a situation. It's the same reason I don't do fighting anymore. The same reason I don't go in the ring. People say it's your own choice to get in the ring and fight, right? So I don't go in the ring because therefore I'm not in the situation where I have to punish somebody. Okay? So you're putting yourself in a position where you're getting punished and then you're crying about the punishment.
No, I'm not getting punished. I'm getting abused, and the fact that I'm getting abused does in fact make me the victim. Right. I'm
sorry that you can't see this. That everyone, I'm trying to. I'm actually your friend, Brenda. I'm not against you.
No, you're not my friend.
Sorry. No, I've got to side with Brenda here. Sorry, I've got to side with Brenda. She has just declared it. She has a bona fide victim card, and you all need to acknowledge it.
Definitely, there's no question about that.
Well, I could bring this to full circle.
I have never personally attacked Nathan.
And Brenda, I could bring this to full circle.
Never.
You just did.
You never.
You just
Yes, you have.
did.
Yes, you have.
Listen,
You just did by saying he abuses his child.
That's not a personal attack. That's just a fact. It's on tape.
No, it's not. That's
horseshit. Obviously, Brenda has never been spanked for misbehaving.
Number one, I didn't spank her. That's utter horseshit.
No, you slapped her across the
face. No, I did not.
What?
Brenda.
Wow.
That's called slander. Serious slander.
No, it isn't. It's just
you have no proof that happened. You have no visual proof that happened.
We have auditory proof of
small children make very loud noises all the time, especially when they're in a complaining mood. And they actually do that on purpose.
You are intentionally using that to, you know, he said about you're paying tit for tat, okay? He's saying that you're not really a woman, you know, and you're saying you hit your kids. I get it, but it takes two to tangle. It takes two to tangle. If you're aware of it, you should take yourself out of that situation, prevent that from happening.
Well, you need to. For fuck's sake, let me talk, right? I've already given you the definition. There's a difference between sex and gender, right? I've already explained that to you.
But you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
No, she's got to be in a bonnet about this, right? Just to point out, sorry, just for 1 second. I want to point out that Brenda's got to be in a bonnet about this, and it's being used, now that she's got the bee in a bonnet, and I'm pleased she has, for her false assertion that I'm a globehead, which I find equally irritating, Brenda. Just remember that now you've got a little bee in your bonnet.
I believe Brenda's more flat earther than me.
No, I'm not.
You know how many times you've said that word? We can go back to the recording.
The point is, it's useful to me to allow Nathan to show his true self as a means of driving people who might be on the fence away from his channel.
Oh, so you're saying you're allowing yourself to be abused. So you are a masochist. You're a masochist.
I'm not allowing it.
That's what you've just said. You're putting yourself in a position to allow me, in your view, to be the abusive person. So in essence, even though this abuse is only your perception, it's actually me just not letting you strawman the shit out of me, make false allegations, claim I'm a globehead when I'm not concede that you're not measuring radius, all the shit that you do, I don't allow. You see that as abusive, I see that as you losing. Now, because you're admitting that you're effectively putting yourself in that position so that you can demonstrate abusive behaviour, that makes you a masochist.
No, when you
Yeah.
You don't allow me.
Come
You
on,
don't
come
allow
on,
me.
Brenda.
Just a
Come
minute.
on, Brenda, concede.
Let me
Just
fucking
relax.
talk.
I know,
Let
but
me
the thing is, you're
fucking
wrong,
talk.
and you're trying to fight a point that you've just been
don't
proven
allow
wrong
me
on.
to speak even.
It's sorry, but you've lost the
No,
argument.
I
You have
haven't.
lost the
I
argument,
haven't.
Brenda. You're a very smart, intelligent person. I respect your opinion on things. We've had our differences in the
I
past.
don't know you. I don't
Well,
know
from
your
what I've
name.
heard from you, you are very smart and you know your stuff. But there is certain things that you have faults on. Nobody's perfect. You have faults. He's just clearly explained something to you. This is the time for you to say, yes, I'm wrong. Like you expect Nathan to admit he's wrong on the shape of the earth. You ain't even willing to do the same stuff for yourself. So you can't sit here expecting people to hear something, hear that they're wrong, and then to admit it, and then you won't do it when it's done to you.
No, I expect to be allowed to speak, which I'm not, and not on.
You're
even
trying
on
to
this
argue
appearance.
against something you're wrong against, so I don't want to hear your
It
response.
doesn't matter.
Your
If I'm
response
wrong,
isn't,
you
I am
should still
wrong.
allow me
If
to
your
talk.
response isn't, I am wrong, I'm sorry, I don't see what you're saying, that makes sense, I must rechange things, then I can listen to it, but I know for a fact all you're doing is going, no, no, no. So I don't want to
That's
hear it.
all I'm allowed to speak. I'm
going to be
all
bullshit,
I'm
that's
allowed
why.
to do is to say no, and then the next word is just cut off because I'm overtalked.
It's because you're going to check.
You're wasting our time, Brenda.
I've
If
never
I say to you,
allowed
Brenda,
actually
what's
speak.
2 plus 2? Your answer should be 4. But you're not going to say 4. You're going to say, well, it's not 2 plus 2 because that's not what we want to hear. The answer is 4. You are wrong. The
That's
end.
not the question that's asked. That's not the question. The
Try
question
to keep up, Brenda. I'm using an analogy.
I get asked loaded questions, and then when I don't give the scripted answer, then I get
Only one
overtalked.
answer. You're wrong. That's the answer.
No, that's because it's not true
You are
that I'm
putting
wrong.
yourself in a position where you're abused and then you're crying about it. You're playing the victim. You're a massacre, like you just explained and like you just admitted. It's a simple answer. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4.
It's LBGT victim strategy methodology.
No.
Yes, it is, Brenda.
No, it's an actual victim strategy. I come on here and I would like to present the case for the globe, and I'm not permitted to, and I'm overtalked, and then I'm abused because of my gender identity. I'm abused in the comments, and I'm abused by the people, and I'm abused by Nathan, and that simply shows everybody your real nature, which is useful to an extent. But given the choice, I would rather just present my side of the argument, but I'm not permitted.
There is 2 sides to a story.
And yet you keep on coming back because you're a masochist. You know exactly what to expect. You know what to do, and you don't do it anyway.
I'm willing to.
Like it.
No, it shows
like
that I'm willing to
do. You keep on coming back.
I'm willing to endure it for a greater purpose.
Start your own channel.
So you're on a
Start your
religious
own.
mission, are you?
Yeah,
Is this
you're
your
correct.
martyrdom?
You're correct that I
Is your
willingly
globe
come back.
martyrdom? Whip me. I will be whipped.
No, it's
for the
not
globe.
martyrdom. It's not martyrdom.
Oh, isn't it?
It's just I'm willing to set aside something.
You're willing
in
to
order-
waste your time and endure all the punishment without really making across any point, just because of a holy mission. It's lovely.
It's not a holy mission.
No, isn't it?
No,
Brenda.
Coming back, though. You're willing to undergo punishment for it, though.
Arwen's got
Brenda.
There are higher. I have greater and lesser goals, right? There are things I wish to achieve, and I have greater and lesser goals, and I'm willing to set some things aside in order to achieve greater goals. It doesn't mean I have it's an ultimate or an absolute goal.
Brenda, can I get your definition of double X and XY? Just your definition biologically. What is a double X chromosome and what is an XY chromosome, male or female? Can you ascribe the one to the one?
We traditionally assign those as male and female, but it's much more complicated than that.
Okay, no. Let me.
Sex and gender are very complicated.
Hang on. So when the doctor sees a boy coming out, he says it's a boy. If he sees a girl coming out, he says it's a girl, based on biological. So what you're saying is psychological.
Right.
So
I never denied that.
Okay, so a Ferrari with a stamp made in Italy, we can say made in Italy. But if someone wants to call a Ferrari Porsche, would they be right or wrong?
if the person with the Ferrari, right, repairs it, replaces all the panels and everything about it and makes it into a Porsche, it's a Porsche.
Can you change?
Let me get it straight. Sorry,
I've
got to come off mute. I was going to end the show.
Actually, biology does
Just
work.
about to run out the after show, but I've got to get in there. Sorry, I just love car analogies, and I really want to get a point in. Sorry to interrupt, guys. Can I just get this point in? Sorry. So the analogy is as follows: you've got a Ferrari, and that Ferrari is made in Italy, and someone comes along and they take off the body panels of the Ferrari, and they put on Porsche body panels. You're saying it's now a Porsche. Is that what you're saying, Brenda?
Yes, it's functionally a Porsche.
No, it's not. No, it absolutely, ipso facto, is not a Porsche. You know what Porsche would happen to them if that's what was claimed? They would go to court and be sued by Ferrari for forgery.
But that's not the biological reality.
Yeah, so biologically, biologically, regardless, let me just get my point in. Regardless of the badge, don't matter how much badge you've got, doesn't matter how many badges you put on, it's still a Ferrari. It might be that you want to call it a Porsche. It's the same if somebody does something slightly differently with what are actually counterfeit cars. They call them replicas, but someone comes along and they buy a Honda 2000 and then they put a Lamborghini body kit on it and they say it's a Lamborghini, but it isn't. It's a Honda, and no amount of bad body panels is ever going to change. Doesn't matter how much badge that you put onto that body, it's still a Honda. It will never be a Lamborghini. The only instance of it being a Lamborghini would be if you replaced every single part, but then it wouldn't be the same car. It wouldn't be a Honda anymore. It would be a Lamborghini because you'd basically built a Lamborghini from scratch. But if you keep the frame of the Ferrari or you keep the frame of the Honda, it's still a Honda and it's still a Ferrari. Even though the new badges on the car and the owner liking to call it something else doesn't make it that other thing, Brenda. Do you understand my point here? I hope it's perfectly clear.
Humans aren't cars, and that's not.
Who was talking about humans? I only piped up because I'm a bit of a gearhead and I like cars. And the idiots, the people who are, let's just call it what it is, fucking stupid, think that they can put Lamborghini body parts on a Fiera and call it a Lamborghini. It's not. Those people, Brenda, they're deluded. They're stupid and they're misguided. They might have been told that putting Lamborghini body parts on a Fiera makes it a Lamborghini, but it doesn't. It's definitely not a Lamborghini, because if it was a Lamborghini, it would have started life as a Lamborghini. So let's just round out this point by saying a Honda will never, ever, ever be a Lamborghini, Brenda. Okay, love?
That's just not how biology works.
I wasn't talking about biology. What are you talking about? Why am I getting this false equivalency? Brenda, how dare you? That's a false equivalence. Stop it. I was talking about cars and their badges. I was talking about the badge on a car. Not about humans. I don't know what you're talking about. I just heard cars. And I want to make it clear, the Honda will never, ever, ever be a Lamborghini. Okay?
I'd like to point one thing out to Brenda also.
Humans.
Brenda, let me say this.
Who cares about humans? The Honda is never going to be a Lamborghini no matter how much badge you put on it. It doesn't matter about the badge or the body panels. It doesn't matter how much body panels you change. It's still going to be a Honda. Okay?
Brenda, you said cars are not humans. Brenda, you said cars are not humans, right? But the point being, you know that cars aren't humans, but because you have a bias, you are bringing that into a separate argument. He asked you about cars, right? He never asked you about humans. He asked you about cars. But because you have a bias, and you know what he's talking about. You do have a bias.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do, because
No, I don't.
Internally, you're trying to argue that you can change the body parts of a car, therefore it's the same as humans.
That was just an analogy.
And with that, I will say, if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be... No, there won't. This is the end of the after show. That's the end. So a massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the Nathan Oakley premiering stream for tuning in, smashing the super chat, hopefully liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and if you need to keep yourself occupied after this stream, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!